Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with the third video on our Dark Souls 3 Platinum Trophy Guide. Now in the last video, my audio did not record at all, and I don't know why that happened, as I checked everything before I started and it was fine, and then as I was making the video I realized that I had over 40 minutes that I couldn't get back and just restart simply. So I'm going to slightly explain what happened in case you didn't understand what was going on back then. So in part 2 we picked up where we left off in part 1 by continuing to go through the undead settlement. We get three covenants and a bunch of other items. We talk to people, do quest lines, get gestures, stuff like that, get rings, you know. So from there we left off by getting these final two bonfires here in the Crucifixion Woods and the start of Farron Keep. Now from there, we're going to follow the path that I take, and we'll get our next boss, the Crystal Sage. Don't know what was up with that severe lag right there. Whew. But coming in here, we'll get this Crystal Lizard. Come on. And we'll get a Crystal Gem. Now from here, if you actually go straight and hold onto the right side, you'll find this secret little area up top here, where you'll find Orbeck.
Well, what is it?
If you ask to learn his sorceries, make sure that you are at least I believe it is intelligence level 11 or higher. If not, then you won't be able to ask him to learn sorceries, so just be wary of that. Don't forget to also use your Estus shards and bone shards at Firelink. Bone shards you burn at the actual main bonfire in Firelink Shrine. So here we have the Crystal Sage. His first phase is not too terribly bad. You'll damage him, then he'll teleport away. He'll try and cast spells at you, like that. Simply just run around and then L1 him. Now we're approaching the phase 2, which is supposed to be the harder part of this section, as he will spawn multiple fake clones around the map. Normally, as you'll see, he'll do that, then he'll teleport away. Do be careful not to get hit by those crystals, as they can do damage to you. But you'll know if it's the real one because it'll be purple, not blue, like the rest of them are. It's best just to keep moving during this boss fight. And we were able to finish it off before he teleported away one last time. That'll get you another trophy for the Crystal Sage. Will be embered, like so. So from here we can carry on. Now if you want to be a little cheesy, you can spook and then go back to normal, and then be able to come over here, hop down on these crystal lizards and get some twinkling titanite. If you don't want it, you don't have to get it. It is more of a preference thing. So from here we can drop back down. There is an armor set on the right, but if you want it, you can grab it. If not, you can just run past, and we'll grab our next bonfire. Surprising to have these so close to each other, but you know, some people might end up dying, you know, like the game journalists. So from here, if we actually head down here, fight this NPC over here. Or if you want to, you can simply just pick up the ashes. This will actually allow us to buy Titanite shards infinitely from the Handmaiden. Which is awesome. Come on, man. There we go. He doesn't drop anything, but it's, I think, an extra 1,000 souls, something like that. 1650. It's not bad. We'll rest and reset our Estus just because the next couple of parts are a little bit annoying. So from here, if you want to fight this guy, he's pretty easy. Make sure to heal up because this next area is going to be quite tricky. I recommend having your shield out. This guy will drop the spider shield. It's an okay shield. So as you run through here, you'll want to stop at certain points to reset and make sure that you have topped off stamina. Be careful of dogs as they'd like to randomly teleport, as you see. But simply run up here. Ignore that guy who sets himself on fire. You'll make it to the door. If there's any dogs chasing you, they'll be right inside of you right here, but if not, like so. Come on. Come on. There we go. And we'll get this next bonfire. We'll rest, of course, just to reset. Now from here, if you follow the path that I take, we'll get another Estus shard. And then we'll also get another bone shard. Now, we're not going to immediately fight the boss of the area, as there's some side stuff to do. Do be careful of exploding boys. Now this area, if you want to switch and have your torch out, by all means, as there's some enemies that will give you maggots that will be a debuff that will slowly build up, and when they go off, it'll deal a chunk of your damage to you, or a chunk of damage to your health. So following the path that I take, simple as possible, try not to avoid getting caught by these guys. This is the enemy that you want to worry about. Simply just roll through. Now if you come up here and over to the right, see that area, drop down. That's the guy you want to be worried about, is those right there. As you'll see, I'm getting that build up. Grab this undead bone shard and then bust out your torch if you really need to. Now from here, if we actually head up, we can deal with this person here. They're fairly easy. Got their twin blades. I don't think they're that good, but still. So this next area, you want to just have the one shield. Don't two-hand your weapon, as this next area is a little tricky. But if you follow the path I take, you should be fine. There are going to be a couple of close calls, but I think it's manageable. If you want to stop and clear out some enemies, by all means you can. Like this archer. Stop you from getting shot at. Now if you actually run this way, it'll give you a little bit of time. You don't have to go to that back area, just simply come over here to this door, open it up, we'll give you invincibility frames, so maybe these wardens will get killed. If not, it's fine, they normally don't follow you inside. They do have a de-aggro range, so simply follow the path that I take, you should be fine. You don't have to grab anything in here. And here's our first shortcut back to the main bonfire. That's just cheating. But we were able to make it back to our first bonfire. Surprisingly, these enemies have a much higher range of aggro than I thought. But since they're here, they gotta die. It's just the law. So as you can see, we've gotten our first shortcut back to this bonfire. Use that to rest and reset. Then from here, we'll actually use this to go back. Now, for the sake of making things a little bit easier, I would recommend doing what I do, but then going back and exploring. Now, if you come down here, we'll find I believe it's the adjudicators. I forget, or evangelists, sorry, evangelists. These people. These guys can definitely serve a beating, but they're not too terrible. So you'll get a deep gem. And from here we can carry on. Oh, whoops, my bad. So from here, you're going to be attacked by the blob. Hear the crunching of your bones. Now, if you have any flame weapons, these work great against these enemies. If you don't, it's okay. Fire bombs and stuff work too. Now, if you follow the path I take, we'll get our next ring. It'll be right here. Now, if you use Spook, and you're able to drop down here, this will make this fight 1,000 times easier. Simply just stick to one foot. If he does that, simply just walk with his other foot. When he swipes, get some free damage in. Now, if he hits you, it shouldn't be too much damage as long as it's like on the edge of his hitbox. You can always check to see how much health he has left. And boom, that's that done. He will drop a large Titanite shard, so be wary of that. As of now, you can actually take out or remove the torch. And the main reason why we're using our dagger is like this. It uses FP, but you can infinitely use it even when you no longer have FP to move in like the water in the Crucifixion Woods that's deeper than normal and stuff like that. Now I'm just opening up all the doors. This one doesn't lead to anything major, but it's good transportation, as you can see here. Now if you follow me around here, we'll make it to the second shortcut. Which would be just over here to the left. And as you can see, we're back at this starting bonfire. Alright, so from here, we're going to join our next covenant. Now note, joining covenants doesn't ruin any questlines specifically, but giving covenant items can ruin things, so just be wary of that. Joining this next covenant is one of those things that you might push a few buttons with other people by giving actual covenant items, trying to level up in those covenants, but just getting the actual insignias for them will not do that. So if you follow me around, as you'll see, we'll back out at the start. There'll be a ladder up here. Following this around, you can see other parts of the geometry and the map layout for other parts. Killing this guy right here the first time will give you a ring. Now if we use Spook, we come down here. I recommend taking out this guy on the left after you take out some thralls. Thralls really do like to just ambush you a lot in this game. Oh no. Whoops. Alright, once you've safely made it up onto this ledge area, you can progress. Be careful of the sides. Try to lure in these bigger guys in one at a time. That way you don't also have thralls coming at you. The thralls would be easier to fight, but still, or easier to deal with. Or that can happen. Sure. I'll take it. So as you'll notice in some of these you can go into, but if we're trying to make the best of the situation, coming to the back over here is our best bet. Be wary of the sides on the right, as there will be a thrall who will show up somewhere and try and ambush you. Picking up that will give you another pale tongue, which you only need 10 of, so that's good. Now if you come back this way, not this one, next one, here we go. Now in here be careful, as there are some big boys do damage. But if you come this way, we can grab a Blush Gem early on. If you don't want it, you don't have to get it. You can kind of get some of these enemies to... Well, I'm just dead. To fall to their deaths like that. Kill themselves. But we'll go back to whenever I'm up there. Alright, so now that I've got my souls back, we can try and officially get back to basics. That works too. Alright, so at this big boy over here is where we're going to go, as you'll see right there. So getting past this guy is going to be a problem. So if you'll just run down here. Be careful, as he will drop down after you, but he won't fully chase you. Knowing my luck, he'll do exactly that. So down here, got this spear guy. And you'll have all of these maggots that'll chase after you. You can basically fight them, as they aren't too much of a hassle. They're just a little bit annoying is all. They don't drop anything that I know of, which is, you know, it's okay. Now here, killing this one in the back who won't aggro you will get you the red sign soapstone. But the one right here is the one that we want to make sure we take out, because he's just going to poke us. Oh man. But now we can come back here, deal with this guy. He's not going to be mean. Get our red sign soapstone. Now in here is where we'll get our next covenant, and a bonfire. also progress one of the stories a little bit by doing this, or quest lines, I should say. So asking to join the Covenant won't make anybody mad at this point in time. We'll join the Rosaris Fingers Covenant. But just back out. Just don't do anything else, and you'll be fine. So from here, we'll warp over to the Cleansing Chapel and continue from there. Alright, so from Cleansing Chapel, what you simply want to do, make sure, okay, yep, is follow the route I take. Now, if you are embered, you will be invaded in this area by a guy named Kirk. If you want his weapons and stuff, then by all means, you can do so. I'm not going to, simply because. Be careful of this thrall with a Flameberg. Don't know why he's got that. But if we head back over to this side of the map, backtracking, yes, but there's a reason for it. So in here, there'll be a guy with a shield and club, or, you know, shield. There he is. Oh my. And you also have that thing. It's nice. Well, we've kind of lured two birds out with one stone. Hey, no. We'll be having none of that. There we go. Now, you want to defeat this thing, so you can bait it to attack you. So have it jump, and then hitting it in the face a couple times will actually be the best option for you. Don't let it bite you specifically or spray that mist on you. You'll be patient. Just take your time and be patient with this. As you can see, we got cursed. But once you can do that, it's some good chunk damage on it, and it should result in death. And it'll allow you to pick up a ring. There's only an ember in here, so it's really nothing too special. But from here we can move on. Now we're backtracking versus how you're normally supposed to progress through this area, so just keep that in mind. If you don't have any undead hunter charms, then this next... Okay, I thought I did hear one. Deal with these guys. Get a Estus Flask back. So coming up here, you'll see this chest. And remember what I said, any chest that doesn't have a curved little chain on it is a mimic. Now since we've got good weapons, we do good damage. Now with this Deep Braille Divine Tome is something you don't want to give to Irina. Just don't. Do not do it. That'll ruin a lot of things for you. You will no longer be able to buy miracles from her. Now if we come over here, you'll see this guy above us. I think he's slick. See that goop over here. Get the Seek Guidance Miracle. And then from here, what you want to do is simply spook back down and continue on like we're normally going through the game. Come over this way. Now, don't forget to raise this gate up while you're up with Rosaria and stuff, as it can be quite annoying. Alright, that hit. That hit too? What? It's not going well. Be careful of the things on the ground. If you need to get away, by all means get away. You can lead him over here to kind of deal some damage to him sometimes. Doesn't always work, but it is an easier area to fight on. But you will have to deal with these things, so do be careful. Like I said, fire works really well, but we'll skip past that once we've defeated everything in that area. Alright, so now that the big boy is down, we can come get a new armor set. The Drang armor set. It's not a bad looking set. Get another Pale Tongue, so that's 3 out of the 10 that you actually need. Come back here, you'll get a new weapon. I forget if this guy has anything of importance now. Okay. So from here, if you head up the stairs, make sure you're healed up. Be kind of careful. And if you walk around here to the left, you should be okay. You won't aggro anybody. Pick up a free ember. If we head all the way around over here, you can access this elevator. This will start another quest line of sorts. So once you open up this door here, you can quit out once it's done, or you can move to locations and then quit out and reset. So if we come down here, there should be a familiar NPC waiting for us. Once again, this is where you would quit and reload. Now, normally there are cases where you will have to reset or rest at a bonfire for the NPC to reload. Oh well. You can easily do that by coming all the way over here to the Rosaria bonfire. You can ignore all of the enemies, as most of them won't follow you in here. Do note that the giants don't reset, so once you defeat them, they're gone forever. But there are some instances where it just doesn't work, and you'll have to come back at a later date, which we'll do after we defeat the boss. So from here, if you want to, you can ember up and fight the boss with help, which I'll do now. If you use Spook, it makes it easier for you to make it to the boss without being undetected, since you'll be quiet. Won't be noticed by big boy there. Or so I thought. As you'll see, you'll have Anri of Astora. And you can also summon Horus. You don't have to summon both of them, you can just summon the one. I think one phantom is fine enough. So now we'll have our next boss, the Deacons of the Deep. Basically, it's just a ring around the rosy of who you're dealing damage to and fighting. You'll notice because they have a red light on them, that it'll deal damage, like so. The reason why I say having one summon works well is because Henri can distract some of them while you deal damage to the one that's glowing, of course. More will spawn, so don't worry about that, in case you're worried about destroying the main group first. You'll just do this until eventually there is half health, or at least this point here. You can backstab. Do be careful though, as the purple boys are the most annoying, as they do not get staggered at all. And they can emit force, which is like a shockwave that'll knock you down. So when he does this chant, simply just don't let him do it. You can be overwhelmed, but you can simply fall back around here to the side. In case you need a heal or anything like that. As you can see, I'm getting bullied. Henri is of no help to us right now. But we are done finally. Deacons of the Deep. Get the small doll and soul of the Deacons of the Deep. Then rest, and you'll get 8 new armor sets. Right here. Yay. So now we'll go try and see if we can get that one quest line to activate. Alright, now I think I figured out the problem to patches not spawning in the Cathedral of the Deep. So basically what you have to do is you have to buy the 20,000 soul key from the maiden at Firelink. And then you have to ride up the elevator, and then this will cause patches to spawn. You'll know because as you'll get almost to the top, you'll hear behind you a door close. Like so.
Be more careful. Some places are better. Ooh.
So basically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to hop down like so onto here. You can do this to grab a specific key. If you miss, oh well. Or not key, ring. Wait, no, that's the ring right there. That's just the Firekeeper set. Okay. But basically you're not supposed to survive that fall, more or less. Here we'll fight the Master for Uchigatana. And his stuff. But if we go back, we'll be able to have patches spawn finally. Very weird how it breaks the sequence if you don't do this first. But you'll be able to continue now. So if you follow the path I take, we'll find patches. Now in doing so, we will also get a gesture. So remember that.
Now, you know what I mean. You're alive.
Do not forgive him. and you'll get the prostration gesture. Now from here, if you also buy all of his stuff, you can just for some reason bypass having to deal with him at the Cathedral of the Deep, which is really nice. He also sells rusted coins.
Thanks.
So now we can head back and continue the other quest line, which will then also result in us getting another gesture. So from here, just warp back to Cleansing Chapel. You can also talk to Anri over here. You won't get anything, but it'll progress her dialogue. And then from here, warp back to the Cleansing Chapel. Okay, so from Cathedral of the Deep's Cleansing Chapel, run out the way we came, and hook at immediate right. You can just walk. If you want to kill that guy, you can. And you'll see there's somebody who is trapped down there. Give him his armor, and you will get the Rejoice gesture. Doing this progresses Sigurd's questline, and then you can return. Yay! Woo! But anyways, so up next will be Fair and Keep. That'll be part 4 of the Platinum Trophy Guide. And maybe if, depending on how long it takes, we'll also go through and do what's after the next area. So this has been Mr. Pilgrim. I'll see you all in the next one. One small side note though is that by now Yol should have died and Yuria should appear.
I am Yuria of Thank allow.
She will give you the dignified bow gesture. Can't forget this. And she sells basically everything Yol did and a few rings that you might want to eventually pick up. If you also want to grab her Braille Divine Tome, by all means for 50 souls, pretty cheap.
Till we've made it.
Figured I'd add that into it as I was just checking on it. Ta-da!